To all my Pan-Africanist brothers and sisters, I've got fantastic news for you today. Our Zimbabwean and Botswanan president, Mokgweetsi Masisi and Ernest Mnangagwa, has agreed on a free movement policy between the two countries, meaning that you can move from Zimbabwe to Botswana or from Botswana to Zimbabwe, just issuing your ID document. And you can stay there for as long as you want, for 90 days. Without needing a work permit, a visiting visa, or anything of that sort. Let's speak about that and much more in this video.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Black Heart, the hustle continua. 100% good quality t-shirts, made to inspire your goals and dreams. T-shirts are now available at an affordable price. Place your order now. 068-473-6908. Instagram at Black7576. Facebook page Black Heart.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Eneng, and we're back at it again with another one. And I had a pleasure of one of my subscribers and a brother of mine, Dr. Doolittle, who sent me a video to say, King, look, they have now signed the bill in Zimbabwe and Botswana, initiated, by the way, by the Botswanan president, to say there can be movement, free movement between Zimbabweans and Botswanans for as long as 90 days without any need of a passport, an ID document, or any sort of permit. Now, I am one of those people who love explaining what a borderless Africa would look like. Many people, they think that we will just take the keys of the border, break the doors, and walk away and not monitor the movement of the people flowing from one country to another. That could not be further from the truth. When we say Africa needs to be borderless, we mean to say there needs to be free movement for Africans. And I love that they have kept it. They have kept this movement to 90 days to say, if I want to go to Zimbabwe, I am free to go to Zimbabwe with my identity document, to go and visit the Victoria Falls, or to go and scout where I can do business. And they are giving me 90 days to say, Mr. Shongwane, if you want to go to Zimbabwe, feel free, just show us your ID document. Why is it that we still need to show the ID document if we say no passport needed? We need to account for the warm bodies. That is very important. And that is one thing that many politicians who advocate for a borderless Africa are failing to explain. I've always said the home affairs of each country that opens its borders to the neighboring country needs to be meshed. You need to know who is born in that country, what is their criminal record, what is their standing, their education level, and who and where they come from, just by their identification document or their fingerprints. You need that information so that you can account to your government as to who flowed to your country. Things like criminal records, fresh criminal records, serious criminal records need to prohibit people from moving around. You can't murder someone in South Africa and just go show your passport in Botswana and go in. By your identity document, we need to identify that no, this person is a flight risk, a high risk, so we cannot allow him in our country. That is why we need the identity document. It's not a passport. Everyone has an identity document from their birth, the country of their birth, or the country where their mother comes from, if I can say it like that. So let me show you guys just a short video from SABC where they speak about this matter in a little bit more detail, and then I'll come back for my final commentary.
News from our continent now. The presidents of Zimbabwe and Botswana have agreed to the free movement of their citizens. So people traveling between Zimbabwe and Botswana no longer need to use passports. A national from both countries can spend up to 90 days per year in the other country without using a passport or work visa or permit. They only need IDs to cross the border. Botswana signed a similar agreement with Namibia earlier. We're joined now by the Zimbabwe and Lesotho permit holders chair, that's Luke Mofaro Zwiti. Mr. Zwiti, thank you for being with us. You've congratulated both countries. Why is this the right move, do you think, and what are the benefits for both these countries?
Good afternoon, or I must say good evening to you and to all the SABC listeners. We've congratulated the two countries for removing the use of passports for travelers from Botswana and Zimbabwe going in between the two countries, because these borders that we have are colonial borders. They were not supposed to be there in the first place. We must take, for an example, the richest nations like United States of America. That's what it used to be. And self-isolation, which is happening between the countries like Botswana, is to hinder all other Africans from not making the explorers come and take diamonds, so they can mine diamonds. There's diamonds in Botswana, there's other mines of interest in South Africa. So it makes other Africans not to interfere in what is supposed to be Africans. As one Africa, we should be one family. There shouldn't really be borders between South Africa and Zimbabwe. There shouldn't be borders between Lesotho and South Africa. Because as you know, Zulu people and the Ndebele people were originally one people. They are cousins, and ever since the borders were put, they now look like they are strangers to each other. So we are really grateful with the removal of passports between Zimbabwe and Botswana and what happened between Namibia and Botswana. And we hope the same will apply to all countries between Cape and Cairo, so that all Africans can go and visit each other without the need of a passport.
I have no problem. My accountant is a Zimbabwean.
Yes.
He came here with papers. He came here legally.
Yes.
If you jump the fence, there's a difference between the guy that jumped the fence and the guy that came in legally.
Yeah.
I'm not saying foreign people. I've got businesses outside this country.
Yes.
That's not what I'm saying.
So, like I said, when a country opens its border to its neighboring citizens, we are not throwing away the laws. We are not saying let's be lawless, everyone can flow in and everyone can flow out. We are saying as Africans, let us remember where these borders come from and why they were initially formed. What was the reason for these borders? You always hear me speaking about the Berlin Conference in 1884 and 1885. It started in November 1884 and ended in 1885 in February. So we always speak about that conference where they sat down and cut Africa into small pieces. The Portuguese will get that land, the French will get the west of Africa, the British will get the southern part of Africa, and then you got the who else? Italians, Portuguese, I did say that, the Dutch, and all of those people cutting our land into small pieces so that they can claim rights of that land, those people, and their minerals. If we remember that as Africans, then we need to be angry to say we need to do away with what the colonizers did in terms of separating our people. We're not saying our people were perfect before the colonizers came. We're not saying we were living in all peace and harmony, everyone was kissing everyone. Yes, we did have some fights. Yes, we did. But one thing we never did is try to colonize people and take them from their, just strip them from their human dignity. That's one thing we never did as Africans. Ubuntu always reigned supreme wherever corner you go in Africa. So now as we open in the border, times have changed. So many things have changed. in terms of our laws, in terms of our being, how we operate as human beings and everything. We need to understand what are the advantages of opening a border, and also highlight clearly the disadvantages of opening the borders to anyone. And like I said, opening does not mean that there is no border, anyone can flow in. There's still going to be a border. You monitor who's going to come, but now you don't put too much restrictions in terms of saying, go and buy a passport, have a working visa, you must have a visiting visa to come to my country. No, we're saying as Africans, come as you please, and then go as you please, but follow the laws of our country. In our country, you cannot do this. And we are saying with this free pass of passing from one country to another, you cannot go and work there. That's what they are saying in Botswana and Zimbabwe. Remember, Botswana and Namibia are already doing that anyway. Like I said, Botswana President Masisi is a big exemplary of what a Pan-Africanist president should be doing. He's really doing well. So for me, I am saying, once you open those borders up, you still monitor them. And then the system in the beginning is not going to be perfect. You're going to have something like maybe hospitals overcrowded. Then that's the identification of that problem that needs a solution. So you will say, of all the people that are here in South Africa, maybe in our hospital, 40% of them are Zimbabweans, 10% of them are from Lesotho. I'm just making an example. From there, you as the three countries, you agree on a billing process to say, guys, we will help your people, no problem, but they are burdening our health system, so we need financial assistance from you guys. And that's how you operate from there. If, for example, Zimbabwe say, but we don't have money, then South Africa will say, then allow us to bring some of our mining companies to come and mine platinum or copper or steel or gold, and in that way we will contribute back to our land. That is the advantages and disadvantages I'm talking about when I say let's open the borders, and our people will be freely flowing. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, once we can fix the money issue, the border issue will not be an issue that much. And then again, there's that thing of, what if a person comes this side and they make a child this side and they are born this side? And I agree with that thing, which the child must follow the birth country of their mother. So even if you come from Kenya, you can't give birth here in South Africa, but you are not a citizen of South Africa. Your child is recorded as a birth here in South Africa, but also we help you by going back to Kenya to form an identification document for your child. Simple as that. So Kenyans will remain Kenyans, South Africans will remain South Africans. If a South African woman gets pregnant, heavily pregnant, and go give birth in Lesotho for whatever reason that is, the child is still a South African because of the birth country of the mother. That's it. And there's other things of criminal cases, there's other issues of starting businesses. You know, there's other people that are going to cross the border and take chances. That's why you need to strengthen your law enforcement and all of those things. It's things that we as Africans can work and resolve. It's not things that we should fear. We should never fear such things. And I'm happy for Untwenyo, for Mr. Masisi and Mnangagwa for agreeing for their people to flow in and out. I just want to hear your thoughts on the conversation. Do you think if we merge our home affairs system, we merge our police system, our correctional system, and our tourism system, and our border patrol systems, departments, if we merge them with those countries that we are working with, create a new color where we can identify that this police works in Zimbabwe and South Africa. That's why they are wearing those colors and all of those type of things, you know. Do you think it will work? And if you don't think it will work, don't you think if we try it stage by stage, just like how Botswana is doing with Namibia, Botswana is doing with Zimbabwe, don't you think at the end they might get something right? And we are going to, obviously, as South Africa, look at what is happening. Kenya is also doing the same thing. Look at what is happening in Kenya. Look what is happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Look what is happening in Botswana, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, and learn from the mistakes, the pros and cons of opening a border to free movement. I really love it, ladies and gentlemen. I congratulate these presidents for coming to this. And I mean, Mnangagwa, we always put him in bad light, but this time around, I think we can applaud the good work that he's doing with the Botswanan president. I'm very happy that there is still that spirit of Pan-Africanism between our presidents. I'm very happy. I don't know what to say to you guys. I love this type of progression in terms of African unity. I love it so much. And thank you to my brother for pointing out this video. Otherwise, I would have not have seen it, or would have seen it later on in the year. But I'm very happy with what Botswana and Zimbabwe is doing, and especially Botswana, because they already have that agreement with Namibia. I mean, it's beautiful. You never heard Botswanans complaining because they opened their borders. Botswana's economy is better than Namibia, is better than Zimbabwe, but you don't hear any complaints. You know, I know the case will be different in terms of South Africa, but if we put the proper measures in place, the proper systems in place, I think we can get it right as Pan-Africanists. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, consider clicking the subscribe button, leaving your thoughts on the comment section. I want to hear really what are your thoughts about this whole thing that is unfolding between Botswana and Zimbabwe. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, African child, stand up, do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.